Hello, and welcome to another CAD tutorial. Today we have a fun linkage problem to solve. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if you have an idea that you would like us to put out there to further your CAD skills. Today we're going to use an Autodesk Inventor to make a 4-blade aperture, or kind of a futuristic gate. We'll go ahead and take a look at it finished, and then we'll go ahead and make the parts to make this work. It's fairly easy. It's just a linkage problem, and but it has a dramatic impact, and we're just using some standard drive constraints to accomplish this. I'll do a follow-up video and put this in Dynamic Sim in order to make it function properly, using joints and some other features. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this. So we're going to begin with the base. It's a fairly simple part, so we'll go ahead and start a new part file. And we'll just begin a sketch on the top plane. And we'll create a circle from the origin with a dimension of 25. That'll be our outside dimension. Then we'll create the hole in the center, and that will be 10.5. Okay. Finish that, and we'll extrude it up 1/2 inch. We'll add a material to it just to give it some color. Okay. We have one last thing to do here, and that's to put some holes in it. So we'll start a sketch, place it right here. We'll go to a construction line, create a circle, and we will put a dimension on that of 11.25. Okay, from there we'll get out of construction mode and put a circle right about here, and we'll make that 0.375. All right, we'll finish that, extrude it as a cut through the material, and we should have ourselves a hole. And then we'll circle array this feature around. Center, need 4 of them. And this part should be done. So we're going to save this part off into its own folder. We'll just call it 4-blade. And we'll call this base. Okay, the next part will be the outside ring. So we'll go ahead and start a new part file. And we'll start a sketch on the top plane. We'll create a circle. And we'll put a dimension on that of 25. Create a second circle. And we'll put a dimension on that of 24. Okay. From here, we'll just finish that off and extrude it up 1/2 inch. Okay, we got a couple more things to do here, so we'll start a sketch out here. We're going to create a circle. Put a diameter of 4375 on that. And we'll locate it off the origin at 11.5. Okay. Take another circle off of this. Put a dimension on that of 1 inch. We'll create a line off of the quadrant into our solid, down, and back over. Okay. We can trim this up and finish it. We'll extrude that, the 1/2 inch. We'll make sure it's going in the right direction. It's not, so we'll flip it and make sure that it joins it in. All right, so there's one. Go ahead and throw an axis in here real quick. And we'll circle array that as a feature. Axis around 4 times. All right, last step, we'll give it a material, something different. We'll make it black. Okay, and we'll save the part file off. For blade folder, and we'll call this ring. Now we have 2 of our parts made, and we got 2 to go. Okay, so we're going to start a new part file. And we'll start a sketch on the top plane. All very similar procedures to get us here. I'm going to change to construction mode, and I'm going to create a circle. I'm going to put a dimension on that circle of 12. Okay. I'm then going to go ahead and take, since I'm in a construction mode, I'm going to take a line and bring it across our origin, and then another line up. I'm going to do that the same down here, coming down, and then another line at an angle right about here. All right, so this is going to establish some distance so we can use some points along here. So I'm going to place a dimension, an angular dimension here. We're just going to make that 6 degrees, and same over here, and we'll just match that to that. Okay. At this point, I'm going to take an arc command and just give it a little bit of curvature here. Change that to a regular object line. And we'll go ahead and array that around. Four times. Okay. I'm going to change these 2 to just construction, leaving these 2 as objects. Then I'm going to take a circle, just drag it out to here, and we'll trim that up. Yeah, didn't go as according to plan, so let's just throw another circle in here as a regular line. Put dimension on that of 12. And we'll change these points. Okay, good. All right, that should give us the object to work with. So we'll just go ahead and finish that sketch. We'll keep the sketch as simple as possible. And we'll extrude this piece out a 1/2 inch. All right. So here's our origin. We're going to need to place 2 holes in here. So let's start a sketch. And we'll just go ahead and create some construction geometry. Circle out. And this circle is going to be out here with a dimension of 11.25. All right, out of construction mode, we're going to place a circle right here. And we'll put a dimension on 0.375. Okay, and then we're going to need one down here. So we're already at 6 degrees off of here. We're going to come over another 6 degrees. So let's create a line from the origin out. And another line from the origin down. And we'll put our 12-degree angle on here. And we'll place another circle here. And same dimension as the other circle. Okay, finish that off. We'll extrude both of those. As cuts through. All right, let's give it a material, something that'll stand out. Okay, and save the part file off. And we'll call this door. Okay, so got one part file left to make. And then we can start putting this together. Again, on the top plane. All right. And we're just going to make a circle in the origin. Put that at 0.375. Same, we're trying to use same dimensions everywhere we can. Place another circle out here. And same dimension. Okay, let's locate that. And we are 6 inches from center to center. All right, I'm going to take another circle and put it out here, and another circle and put it out here. And we'll make those equal. And we'll put a dimension on that of 1.25 should work. I'm going to just take an arc from the quadrants, let it come down a little bit, and we'll offset that down here, and we'll just quadrant or tangent that up. Okay, we'll trim. And we have a little bit to trim up over here and here. All right, should be good now. finish the sketch and extrude it 1/2 inch. In the material, let's see, let's make it gold so it really stands out. Okay, and save the part off as arm. All right, so that's all of our part creation. So now it's just time to put it together. So let's go ahead and make a new assembly file. And let's go ahead and place our parts in. So I'll grab all the parts and place them in. Okay. All right, we'll cheat a little bit. Rather than constrain this, we'll just ground the outer rings so that it has no degrees of freedom left in it. And we'll go ahead and place our ring on here. We'll just need 2 constraints to do that. So we'll get it axially constrained on the axle. I have predicted offset on, so let me turn that off and set that back to 0. Okay. Now that should allow it to rotate, but it also can translate. So let's go ahead and get that corrected. So we're going to do a surface to surface mate. All right. So now it should only be able to rotate. So that's good. Okay. We're going to need a couple of these. So I'm going to Control C and then Control V, Control V, Control V. And go ahead and do an axis to axis and a face to face. And axis to axis, face to face. Two more times. Excuse me, 2 more times. That one went and hit on me, so let's go find it. There it is. Okay, last one. And that one hit on me as well, so let's roll this model. And grab it, so that's corrected. Okay, let's get back to looking at it from the top. Let's move these around a little bit. So that they're kind of ready to go. I want to do one last thing that I forgot to do in making these doors. So let's go back to our door file. I want to throw a little fillet on and round these 2 corners off here. So it'll update in our assembly. We'll set this to 0.5. And I don't want to round where they all touch in the middle, but out here, I want to round these 2 edges off. Okay, so that's better. Let's come back to our assembly. If it didn't update, we'll hit the update button at the top, and then it looks good. Okay, so now we need some of these guys. So those are going to touch in there. I'm actually going to rotate this one and get it kind of ready to go. I'm going to have the arch go this way on it. It really doesn't matter because it's straight distance across that's important. It's kind of just in the look of it. So we'll constrain this one, axis to axis, face to face. Okay, and one more on this one, which will be another axis to axis. Okay, we're going to have to do that 3 more times. So I'm going to pick this part, Control C it, Control V. Okay. And I want the arc to go out, so it'll go from this side, constraint, axis to axis, face, face, okay, and axis to axis. Good. It's 2. Okay, arch out, so axis, axis, face, face, axis, axis. Okay, 3 done. 1 to go. This one's misbehaving. So I grounded this temporarily. I'll have to remember I grounded that. And we're going to take and suppress this one temporarily. Drag this part out. Drag this part out. Okay, we'll unsuppress that. So now that's corrected. And unground that other arm. Okay, back in business. So a little problem, easily fixed. And we got 1 more to go, and we want the arc to be right in here. So we'll go axis to axis, face to face. And hopefully this one behaves, axis to axis. And it didn't as well. So we'll use the same technique to fix it. We'll just ground something out here. Take this guy, suppress that one. Okay. Unsuppress that. Good. Unground our arm. Okay, perfect. All right, from here, just to make it to function and move, everything has its degrees of freedom that we are hoping for. So we are just going to take the ring and make the ring move. So we have to kind of figure out where we're going to do that from. So I'm going to look at my origin planes on my assembly. And that one will be fine. We just need one that's going up. I'm going to turn it visible so I can see it. Okay. And then I'm going to take my ring and find the origin plane of the ring. And that one will be fine. And I'll turn its visibility on. Okay, so our last constraint to make this work is I kind of want to leave the model where it's at for now and then start to make some adjustments. So we're going to take and do a constraint, angle constraint, to surface solution. I'm going to turn predicted offset, predicted distance off, and then we'll do it from this plane to this plane. So it's telling me it's at, well, it moved my model quite a bit, 161. Let's turn that off. Set that to 0. Okay. So that didn't go quite as well as we hoped, but we'll fix it. Let's see if we can adjust this measurement and see what happens before we get too serious in our adjustments. So let's see what 45 will do. Won't do it. All right, let's delete that. Okay. Second tries will be the charm. Let's do this on the second try. Rather than using an origin plane, let's go ahead and use the piece we grounded, which is our base, and find the plane in there. So that one will work. Okay, so now let's try that angular constraint again. Use predict offset between these two planes. Gosh, that's weird. That's okay. Okay. All right, so this one didn't work again. So let's delete it and we'll try it a third time. Okay, so all right, this time I'm going to try 90 degrees as a starting point. I turn predicted offset off, and we'll just set it to 90. That's better. Try 95 now. Try 100. Okay, I like 100. Okay, I'm going to hold it at 100. And we're in good shape. Okay, I believe we got 60 degrees of movement for this to work. So all I need to do at this point is hit the dimension, the last constraint we added, and we're going to drive it from its current position plus 60 degrees. And let's see what happens. Perfect. All right. So we'll just go ahead and run this 70 frames, start and start twice. And now it should open and close. All right, so that's kind of the cheating way to get this to work. In the next video in this series, we'll go ahead and bring this over to Dynamic Sim and actually make it work and where the parts start to interact with one another. This is kind of just using angles, and the parts have no idea what's going on amongst themselves. But in the Dynamic Sim module, we're able to start to let the parts interact with one another. And so that'll be a good little tutorial on that. I hope you enjoyed this project, and you give it a try. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to watch more videos like this and add additional skills to your war chest. And again, if you have any ideas that you would like to see or some issues in your CAD designing world that you would like some assistance with, please leave them in the comments and we'll be more than happy to make some demonstrations or tutorials on those. All right, thank you.